Hello, my name's Mark Webster. Always has been. Same with him, Mark Baxter. That's how it works. We are, of course, Clobbered. Is that in Golden Square?
We are.
Bax. Heart of London, Soho. But can I transport you, if I may?
You may.
Thank you. To adjacent Soho in New York City, where our colleague, the professor, the other Mark,
the one only,
stood over there.
Yeah.
There'll be a lovely picture of him in this moment's time that people will see of him. Spent several months.
Yeah. Idling time away.
I believe that's easily said because his wife, his good lady wife, kept him for many months. But the one good thing he did during that entire time is he went down and visited one of the most incredible, brilliant shops that you ever did see. And if you never did see it, you can see it now.
Hey, welcome in. I'm Adam and welcome to Dave's New York. This is our place. Come on in, I want to show you around. This is our family business. I'm a third generation owner of the business. I'm here with my father, Bob, and it was his father, Dave, that actually opened our store. So I want to thank you for coming in today. I want to show you a little bit about our store, the brands that we have, the things that we carry, and hopefully give you some information on some stuff. So come on, let's take a look around. So first and foremost, our biggest brand is Carhartt. You know, Carhartt here in the US is all workwear. We've been carrying them for the better part of 5 decades. We were really like one of the first and now the largest store in Manhattan to carry Carhartt. It is like just the go-to. OG workwear, when you think of canvas, you think of denim, think of anything work related, Carhartt's your brand. We also got some other ones, let's take a look around. So pretty much this entire wall that you see over here is Levi's. Levi's is our other big brand. We've been carrying them since the late 60s, early 70s. And we carry just some of the classic styles, the things that always, you know, kind of fit in your wardrobe, fit in your closet, from the classic 501 to the newer slim fits and skinny fits. They're always great. We got some more. As you can see, our store, not a big store, but we do carry a lot of products. We carry everything from the classic jeans and the canvas, also to twill. As we head towards the back of the store, you can see there's a lot of Dickies. Those are our 3 biggest brands in the store. Dickies is one of those classic 874s, like the chino work pants, the work shirts, the coveralls, the jackets, like the service twill. The things that are so great for everyday use, from everyone from bartenders to maintenance guys, from HVAC to barbers to everyone in between, skaters. Dickies is just like the go-to brand for those. So those are kind of like the 3 pillars. But underneath all that, there's so many other great brands that we have.
This is our second location. We were originally 10 blocks up in the Flower District when there was a Flower District, and then the city rezoned and all the old buildings came down and you have new high-rises up there. We've been down here since '99, so it's pretty much been almost a lifetime down here of like 26 years. My father, when he got out of the military, World War II, ended up working for some folks and managed a store very similar to this, but back in its day, for a couple of people, and the city condemned the property when they were building the path tubes. So eventually my father put together some money, borrowed some money, and opened up the old store, which was at 779 6th Avenue, exactly 10 blocks from where we're standing. So I can say my whole life's been on 6th Avenue.
We got some outdoor brands, such as North Face. We continue with the more workwear theme. Some of our favorite brands that are a little bit smaller, a little bit less known, but are becoming. We do carry some core classic Stanray. The Stanray USA, made right in Texas, the classic denim, hickory stripes, some rip stops. Such a great brand. And one of our other favorites, Ben Davis. Original Bens, they're twills, they're iconic half-zip work shirts in a ton of colors. They're new denim carpenters. Everything from them is just top quality. We still keep to our heritage as an Army Navy store. We still do some Alpha Industries. We do some shot, classic military style bombers and pea coats. You know, everything that's kind of like a mix of everyday life, the things you might need, the things you might want, and the things that can really function, whether it's in New York City or around the world. You know, we're just proud to carry these brands.
How did the store first start? Was the stock quite similar to what it is now?
No, it was more it was work oriented, but it was also more military because you had World War II and then the Korean War, and there was a large surplus market. So in those days, we carried some tents and cots and duffel bags and sleeping bags and bayonets and machetes and knives, along with the workwear. My mom was working with my dad, and she goes, I don't want to be in a place with weapons. You know, so she told my father, you know, just sell them out and never reorder them, and he didn't. And as the old area was a thriving factory area, people were buying more and more work clothes, and I explained to my father, I go, Dad, you know, you sell somebody a sleeping bag in a lifetime, but you can sell them like a half a dozen pair of work pants a year. And so it gradually transitioned into less of the military stuff, although we still carry the, you know, the military pants, the tees, the jackets, some carry bags and stuff, but the hardcore stuff disappeared slowly.
I never got to Davies in New York. I've been to New York on a couple of occasions, but never got there. But I understand you have been to that fine emporium.
Very much so. It's kind of tucked away in one sense. It's not part of the fashion district, but that's its point. It's a utilitarian shop. I went to the original one. I was out there in '96 is probably the first time I went there when I was out there working. And then I went to this big one over the next few years. And it is just a sensation. It's got all of the brands in there that we seek now.
Yeah, definitely.
And the reason I enjoyed it is because at that stage they were kind of just coming to terms with the fact that they weren't just supplying just builders,
just workwear,
construction workers,
it becomes streetwear, isn't it?
City workers, to the point where they talk about their Levi's collection in there. I still own the first pair of 501s I bought at that place, and also the first pair of Red Wings, and also my first Carhartt blanket jacket from there are still going strong decades on. But when I went there, by the end of the time I was visiting that place, there was a little sign under the Levi's section that said only 3 pairs of Levi's per person.
I can see
because
that.
Everyone was coming home and trying to rinse the shelves out.
Yeah.
And as I say, it's everything we aspire to be with workwear in one place that sort of didn't for many, many decades, and then eventually worked out that other people were quite interested in it.
Which is lovely. They had no idea really what they had. It's always a joy there.
It is, and so it's still a great place to go and discover, and there's some more about it.
So you know what, we've been doing this for over 60 years now, and what we really learned is that there's some spaces in the marketplace for really good quality workwear that aren't necessarily the bigger brands. So we decided to make some of our own merchandise. So actually what I'm wearing right now is part of our new everyday line, our canvas shirt. It's just a nice, clean, simple, heavy duty canvas shirt. But that's not actually where we started. Let me show you where we started with our workwear. So this is our Dave's section. You know, it's kind of hard to be self-promoting, but we're really proud of what we've created. We worked locally with a sewer that's here in New York, with a factory that's in New Jersey to create these heavy-duty American-made double front canvas work pants. It's a classic 12-ounce canvas with a little bit of a modern flair with the angular double front. It's got a straight fit. It's a little bit of room so you can wear it with your work boots, but not too baggy that is super loose. We also wanted to create, you know, classic colors as well as like the traditional painters. These things have been our best sellers. You know, the off-white painters is a 10-ounce canvas. It's something that's really just a great staple to have, whether it's for work or for everyday use. They're just phenomenal. We also wanted to, you know, we're proud of the things that we do. So our half zips, this has been like our uniform for years. The half zip sweater, you know, it's a little bit of casual, a little bit of more professional with a collar than a hoodie or a crew neck, but we wanted to make sure that that's like our core staple sweatshirt. Moving into some of our other work shirts, we now do a heavyweight flannel, kind of like the old Woolrich. Now we love Woolrich. Woolrich of the 90s, they're buffalo plaids, they're cotton chamois shirts, some of the best shirts around. Unfortunately, that Woolrich that we all knew and loved doesn't really exist anymore. So we wanted to come out with our own heavy duty flannel, like a brushed cotton, super simple. We didn't want a lot of outward branding or anything on it. The most thing about it is we just want you to want to wear it every day. Go with any outfit, whether it's to work or just out. We just want it to be comfortable. We want it to look good. I mean, it's just, that's our ethos. As we work on our own workwear and kind of expand our line and do some more, I can show you a few more of the things that we're working on. You know, we have a classic track jacket, lightweight, nylon cotton blend, a little bit of insignia on it, but not too sportswear. You know, you saw our foundation pants, some of our classic tees, our crew neck sweatshirts, and even some specialty items. So what you're seeing right there was a collaboration that we did with Roy Rogers, an Italian brand, actually known as like the Levi's of Italy, also a third generation family business. Started with workwear, now they do more premium denim, but for real, they just gave us an opportunity into workwear as fashion, and it's been an amazing opportunity to kind of develop and work with them to create such cool things. We started noticing some people coming in, especially from places like Paris or Tokyo. They'll come in and buy a whole bunch of Dave's tees or beanies, and we never really understood what was going on until we later saw it on social media or online that it was popping up in stores and being part of a resale market. That started happening years ago, but more recently, I guess in a more official way, since our collaboration with Roy Rogers, which is based out of Florence, as well as some work that we did with Beams and their Beams Boy division. It's been great that last year they created a whole window and pop-up in their Harajuku store with hundreds of Dave's products that were specifically made for Beams. So that was really, really cool, and thankfully that's an ongoing thing.
Yes.
So this fall we're gonna have another collection there. Again, at the stores that carry Roy Rogers Dave's all over Italy. We thankfully had a little pop-up with our friends at Star Cow in Paris that has some Dave's products as well, and as well some friends that are like all over the world. Like, it's been, again, not a purposeful expansion, but a thankful sort of request to have Dave's products in other parts of the world. So we're really thankful for that.
What does Dave mean? What are the values of this place?
Gotcha. I mean, I think my dad, you know, he started this 50 years ago when the first time we started printing shopping bags and really like putting, you know, advertisements in like the Village Voice and other papers. There's like a simple saying.
Just real simple, good product, good prices, good service.
Yeah.
Not trying to be the absolute cheapest, not trying to do the most volume, not trying to be everything to everybody, but it's become almost everything to everybody, and we want people to feel that when they need or want something, no matter what day it is, they can come and get it, the proper product at the proper price, with good service.
So we took this kind of ideal, and it's not just BS. We've been doing this for 60 years, and it's been the same way that originally we wanted to be a symbol of consistency, a symbol of value, and a symbol of, you know, brands that are good. We're trying to put that into more like a straightforward language, because you can't fit all that onto a little business card or something like that. So what we've come up with is we want Dave's to kind of set the standard of value in our service, value in our products, value in our prices, specifically for hardworking people, you know, people who work and do what they love, so that you feel like your efforts to come here, to shop with us, to be a part of us, are worth it. So set a standard of value for hardworking people, so we feel, or you feel, that your efforts are worth it. And that's what Dave's is about. Carhartt, you know, obviously is one of the biggest brands in the world right now. And whether it's Carhartt Workwear or Carhartt Work in Progress, they've just seemed to be everywhere. You know, from their classic beanie to the classic workwear and overalls and outerwear, you kind of just see it on everyone. So I just want to show you a couple of like the staples, some of the core originals, as well as some of the newer stuff, the stuff that's fun, that's coming out for fall, for everything else. So the brown duck, double front, riveted, unwashed, you know, classic work pants. It's a loose fit, has the metal rivets on it. It's got the high waist. It's got the signature sort of like white Carhartt patch on the back. This is kind of like what put them on the map. You know, when they started building overalls back in 1889 and eventually transitioned to work pants, you know, for the last 30, 40, 50 years, as long as we've been carrying them, this style has been like the core style. It's worn by tradesmen, it's worn by fashionistas, it's worn by skaters, worn by every single person in between, just because of it's durable, it's functional, has great value. You can't find a better work pant for this price. So, I mean, this is just what their bread and butter is. It's kind of like their original staple, but since then they've moved into so many other things that we tend to love, like something new or newer. You know, a little mix of workwear and fashion, like a lightweight cotton garment IT that's just nice and simple and easy. Something new for this season, like the red duck with the corduroy brim. You know, it's a modern take on a classic hat, their workwear hat that's been around forever. And we can't forget some of the most classic stuff that they have. You know, their KD7 pocket t-shirt. I mean, this is just those kind of massive, oversized, you know, cotton tees. You know, you can wear them for anything, but mostly they're for workwear and mostly they're for fashion. So mostly they're for everything. And over here I can show you, I mean, this is just the beginning of the season. So we just started with our wall of beanies from Carhartt. They come in 100 different colors, tons of different styles. You know, you wouldn't be caught dead in the winter without one. And it's just great because whether it's for work or for more lifestyle, you can find a style, a color, or anything that just works for you. And I can't even forget, like, this is just a small portion of the hundreds of different products that we have from them. Some of the most classic, I mean, right over here, as we go towards our outerwear section, we can't not mention the kind of core pieces that have been around for 50 years or more that just still seem to resonate with everybody. So we have, you know, the Carhartt Classic Vest, their VO1 duck vest. I mean, this has been seen in everything from on celebrities to music videos to guys who are on high rises. I mean, the classic duck vest with the quilted lining. The Detroit jacket, I mean, it's simple, but it's not easy because it's hard to not add more or want to do more with it. But when you have just the short waist style, simple, clean zipper pockets, the lower hand pockets, the blanket lining to it, there's nothing that needs to be added. It's just like the quintessence of something that's simple workwear, but it's just so easy to put on and wear with anything else. And then the last thing I want to show you on the winter stuff, I mean, this is just the Arctic coat. The Arctic coat, I mean, this was developed decades ago. Classic corduroy collar, heavy, heavy quilted lining, chest pockets, lower pockets, and that firm duck canvas. Now, I'm gonna say this isn't like gonna win fashion awards. It's not like the beauty, but this is the absolute functional, you know, workwear piece. When you're out in the cold, when you're out in the snow, when you just need to be warm for anything and everything, this is your go-to. So, I mean, we love Carhartt because it seems like they do a lot and they're everywhere, but they're also not really trying that hard. They're trying to stay to their core classics, their heavyweight sweatshirts, their heavyweight t-shirts, their classic outerwear. And you know, it's just been adopted by so many walks of life. It's just amazing. As a small store and as a pretty full store, as you saw as the amount of product that we have, it's always a little difficult to fit new brands in the store. So there's not a lot of turnover in brands. A lot of the brands we've carried, we've had for decades. While we've picked up some new brands in recent years, such as like Stan Ray or Solomon footwear. Before that, maybe Ben Davis was our last added brand about 10 years ago. And it's not that we don't want to carry more, it's that space is truly an issue. And it's hard to give up something that kind of resonates so well with our customers. So we'd have to, like, you know, stop selling one brand that does really well for us to start carrying a new one. And unfortunately, that doesn't work for our core customer base. They really like to come in here and find their classics. So now I want to take you over to the Dickies section. Now Dickies, they've been around for more than a century, so since 1922. They're known for like one very classic style and then iterations on that style. So their 874 work pant, like the best-selling twill pant in the world. It's something that is, again, easy and simple, but it's so straightforward that anybody can use or wear it. So 874, a traditional rise, so pretty high up, straight through the hips, just a clean leg, comes in a ton of different colors. You know, it's one of those pants that, yes, it was originally intended as like a service twill pant, but has reached so many different walks of life, so many different people, from artists and skaters to, you know, again, bartenders, kitchen staff, maintenance people still wear it. And it's just such a great staple that at like a $30, $35 pant just makes it super easy to wear every single day, match it, the material is great, it lasts forever, but they have iterations on it as well. You know, in today's day and age of getting things a little wider and baggier, you have the double front loose fit with a cell phone pocket. It's something that has just kind of taken over and exploded over the last few years. Still in that classic twill material, but it's just giving you that little bit of extra room. It comes in a bunch of great colors, just, again, easy to pair with anything else, whether it be denim or canvas. The poly cotton twill, it just seems to all work together. You can't forget some of their classic outerwear pieces though. I mean, just like the Detroit, Dickies has their Eisenhower jacket. You know, made popular about 70 years ago. This one here with the classic quilted lining, called part of their Icon series. Same kind of twill material as their pants are, but with the quilted lining inside of it. short to the waist, lower hand pockets, clean. The beautiful thing about workwear, and as we've seen this more recently, is that you can take this sort of base twill, canvas, denim, whatever it might be, and we've had so many people who don't just use it for work, but for fashion as well, who kind of like destroy and destruct and reconstruct, and they do, you know, sanding and dyeing and twill. They decorate and embellish it in such different ways that they take something that might seem simple and they make it very unique and very their own. And that's one of the most amazing things about workwear, is that you don't have to tell people how to wear it, is that you can give somebody something and then they can decide how they want to wear it. And it's part of the reason why we love workwear and why we love being in the kind of environment where we're in, where workwear has become such an everyday staple in life. So within the US, you can go to daviesnewyork.com and purchase most of our products. Unfortunately, due to licensing agreements, international markets, and trade restrictions, we're not actually allowed to sell a lot of our products overseas. So we'd much rather you come over. If you're coming from the UK, come in, take a look, shop around, but unfortunately we can't get it to you directly. So while we are mostly a men's or adult store, we can't forget about the kids. You know, there's nothing cuter than a kid wearing a matching overall or a matching Carhartt t-shirt as their dad, as they're doing work. So we have some of our Dave's onesies, we have some of our Carhartt onesies here as well, some of our cute little footies. These things are just always on point. Overalls, you know, just mostly it's the Carhartt brand, the hickory stripe. Honestly, we get asked for stuff like this if they made it for adults as well. So I kind of wish Carhartt adult team would take some design choices from their kids line and bring it in. But these things are always cute and always fun. As far as the future goes, we continue to keep doing a lot of what we're doing already. You know, we don't plan on going into any different markets such as like high-end fashion, or we're never competitive as far as like the low end of the market. We want to carry good quality workwear that has value. And the benefit of doing this for so long and knowing this is the development of our own product. So when you talk about the future of Dave's, and we've talked about this so many times, is that we see that there's still space in the market for good quality clothes at a good value to a consumer. So we've been working with designers and factories to come up with our canvas shirts, our canvas pants that we showed you before, you know, a new line of sweatshirts and t-shirts, as we try and build to, you know, new styles that just aren't seeming to be met in the marketplace by workwear brands. That's where we see the future of Dave's.
So there we go. So what a shop.
Amazing.
Some names that we know from there, a couple that popped up that might be a little bit surprising.
Definitely.
I mean, not surprising if you understand your American culture. Roy Rogers.
Roy Rogers, that was a name I didn't know. I'll be completely honest. I didn't know the. I looked into it. 1952 Italian company, which picks up on the leather denim.
Yes.
I didn't know anything about them. I'll be completely honest. It's a brand new name.
Brand new. And their big thing is they did a collaboration with Davies.
Davies, yeah.
And their big thing with their jeans, zip up back pockets.
Yeah. The first company to do jeans for women, he said on that.
That's what they claim.
They're claiming, yeah. They're claiming exclusively for women.
I'm going with jeans are pretty universal, but that's neither here nor there. The other big deal for me is, because I bought one of these in 1999, got a tattoo to prove it because we was out on someone's wedding. Is Ben Davies.
Ben Davies, a name I didn't know.
And Ben Davies is an important name. First of all, the shirt that we saw on there is absolutely iconic, which is the hickory stripes with the zip to there.
Yeah.
Very hard to get over here. Absolutely wonderful thing. Now, on top of that, Ben Davies, designer from San Francisco. Who else came from there, Bax?
Well, wonderful story, because the founder, Ben Davies, his grandfather was Jacob Davies.
Yes.
Who had shared the pattern with Levi Strauss.
That's right.
In 1890 whatever, and they shared that pattern till 1908. So he's very instrumental in what Levi's become.
It's such a weird thing, because what he did was he was working in the area and he knew about riveting. Levi Strauss was a material maker.
Yeah.
There was a request from one person saying, can you make my husband's work trousers stronger? And cut to the chase.
Wow.
And Ben Davies basically and Levi Strauss come together to make the archetypal jeans.
Which is a great backstory.
And apparently in the city itself to this day, their black jeans are worn by long longshoremen and other people who work around the Docklands area, and they wear them on Labour Day with great pride, because Ben Davies is kind of like the local product.
Which is lovely to hear that.
In that sense.
They still, tipping the hats. And
It's a great fit.
Great thing.
Now, we're talking about Dave's here, as I say, sat in our Soho. Their Soho's over there, obviously. Their products look online. You never know you might be able to find it. But we've got good news. They were telling our Mark that not only are they potentially got their own brand now going online, they're looking to distribute it over here.
Well, that's amazing.
Find somewhere to place it in 2026. So with a bit of luck, you two could join in on the Dave's experience. And that was Clobbered.